Good morning, YouTube. It's a wonderful day outside, and I think it's going to be a warm day. Now, I've turned off the air conditioner inside. That's something Heidi and I will talk about in a later video. I'm not sure if it's going to be in this series or not, but I've come to a little bit of a revelation about air conditioning, and again, that'll be on a later video. So, last night we did the things that we showed you there. We was having that fire. I don't know what's up with people. Had a lady that actually stopped out on the road, and it's funny how people try to not be offensive, yet they're being offensive without even knowing it. Well, let me give you some background. We had some rain the other day. Everything is pretty mosquito-y. You know, it's just the perfect weather for mosquitoes to be breeding and just in existence. So Heidi and I is kind of sitting on the table, and we're fighting off mosquitoes to some extent. And I've sprayed some of that stuff on my legs. I can't remember what it's called, pectin or something. Anyways, it works really well. Lemon eucalyptus, that's what it is. Works really, really well. So I've got that on my legs, and I don't want to spray my arms and that because we don't really care for the smell. And if you put it on you, you got to take a shower later. It's not good to have that stuff on you. It's deep free, but anyways, I'm getting way off topic. What's the big surprise there? So we're sitting there with the mosquitoes, not crazy, but they're out there. And again, the humidity is just through the roof. Our dew points are way up there. There's not even the slightest breeze going on whatsoever. There's not even a hint of a breeze. So we had a fire, and you can see the fire here. It's not, I don't know, it's not a bonfire. It's not like I took, a bunch of sticks and stacked them up, and, it's 6 foot tall to start with, that kind of thing. But we had a healthy fire, let's just say that. Inside the fire ring, no big deal. Now, going back to what I was saying in previous videos, this is where the fire ring has been every time we've come out. And like I said, I think this is the fourth trip or the fifth trip that we've been in this exact campsite. And for whatever reason, the fire ring was back there in that area that's all muddy. It's all real damp back there. Again, getting back to this whole damp thing. So, this lady stops on the road, and as we're listening to music and just kind of enjoying ourselves, and she says, yeah, aren't you worried that fire, with how hot it's been, will catch that tree on fire? That fire is going to catch that tree on fire. This fire is going to catch this tree on fire. This fire here was going to catch one of these trees on fire. It's humid as all get out, and everything's kind of like damp. I just told you about all the mosquitoes that we've got swarming around us. Mosquitoes breed everything in water. That it's all about water and dampness. And she's talking about how this fire that we're having is potentially going to cause a bigger fire with a tree that's green and growing in this lush climate that we're having. I don't care how hot it is. I don't know if she's from out west, but she needs to go out west and keep her nose out west, because yes, they have lots of fire issues out there. I would never have pretty much any kind of a fire in the situation that they're having unless it was just perfect conditions. Do I look like I'm a teenager? She acted like Heidi and I were 16 and 14 years old, and she needed to talk to the teenagers about how they should be careful about what they're doing. Holy cow. And I love the fact that she was trying to pose it as a question, because she says, aren't you worried about that fire catching the tree on fire with how hot it is? And then I said, no. I said, it's been pretty wet out. And Heidi, she chimed in and said, yeah, it pretty much rained yesterday pretty hard. And then that lady goes on to say, well, I don't know about that. Like, you're wrong. I mean, basically what she's saying was, you're having a fire. I think it's too big, and it could cause a fire, as far as I'm concerned, that spreads, and you're wrong in your thinking. That's what she said. She said, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Oh, well, okay. And she walked away. I thought, oh my God, what a pair of cojones this lady's sporting. Oh my God. As she's sweating from the humidity, I'm sure, making the short walk wherever she was going. It cracks me up. So nobody had a fire. We don't have a forest fire. It didn't burn down the entire campground. And Heidi says, you're too nice. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, the whole time I was thinking, hey, listen, if we do get this whole campground on fire, you'll be the last I notify. Ugh, horrible. So anyways, okay, I'm getting off that tangent and that soapbox. So today, Heidi got up early. I think she went for a little walk. She posted some pictures, or a picture, showing that she was enjoying her walk, and she's doing her work thing today. Now the nice thing is, when she gets off today, she does have off tomorrow, which is great. And then Friday she goes in a little bit later, which we'll be packing up and leaving by then. So I'm going to throw a log on the fire, see if I can get it stirred up with the coals that are in there, just to keep it going. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to sit inside the RV and do editing today, because a couple of you called me out on it so far, and saying, hey, we're all waiting your videos. Yeah, I could probably get my videos edited, and if I wander into Ravenna, which we did yesterday, we went up to Swenson's, but if I wander into Ravenna, I could get them uploaded pretty darn quick. I could have done at least one overnight here in the RV, but you know, it's one of those things. I really try to enjoy myself, and if I don't have really fast cellular speed using this Wi-Fi booster, or this cell data booster, the Wii Boost, I usually don't do any uploads of videos, but I want to get them out there for you. So since it's going to be hot today, I want to go ahead and jump inside for you guys. I'll sit inside, and I'll do what I can. And I slept, like I said, I slept really well. And I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, I'm normally a pretty active person, but you can see, man, I put on a lot of weight in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I was kidding around talking with somebody the other day and told them, do you realize that a year ago today I weighed 40 pounds less than I do currently? It's actually humorous, but I need to get back on path again for that. However, because yesterday was so hot, and I walked all the way to the office and back, I had to get a bag of, just a small bag of ice, and also the firewood, unloading it from the truck and stacking it, and just setting up camp in general, loading and unloading stuff. You know, that was just enough activity to remind me how inactive I am, and gave me a good night's sleep though, so that was good. I mean, I really got to get a really good night's sleep. I slept like a rock. So back to work for me inside, sitting down, and we'll see what we can get accomplished here. We'll see. I got the fire going, threw some logs on there and a couple of sticks, and the hot coals got it going. So that's all I wanted to do, make sure that we have a little bit of hot coal going on in case we have one of these isolated showers show up again today, which it didn't yesterday. But I'm going to do something that most people don't. And what can that be? Well, you've seen the inside of our RV. A lot of you subscribed to us after we redid the RV. But one thing a lot of people don't show you, including ourselves, is what the RV looks like after you've been camping in it for a little bit. Now, I know as far as the messiness scale that we've got going on in here, this is pretty typical. Even when we went on our 2-week trip to Florida, this is typical. This is about the state of messiness that it gets to. But I want to show you what it looks like when it's lived in, and what gets changed around, because you guys saw it with nothing in it. Now we've got pretty much everything in it except for a couple of small things. But Let's go take a look.
All right, so you can see there's already getting accumulated grass and debris here. I've already swept this out once. There's our cheater fan. This fan helps out with getting the air to circulate. Again, the whole idea behind the air conditioner is it's trying to take in the crappy air, the hot air, condition it, and then blow it out of these ducts. So anything you can do to help circulate all the air in the RV helps out considerably. So of course, since we're out in the sun, I've got my heat shield up here. You know, it's just a pillow, and it's you know, it's hot up inside here, but this keeps it a little bit cooler. And the windows are open. You can kind of see microfibers, because you know, I'm always wiping off camera lenses or screen lenses or something. Heidi's camera, our speaker lantern thing, a couple of hats, paraphernalia up here. I always use this as a shelf. I always have. Last night when I was doing that shot of the fire, I was using this. I need to put that away. Extra camera, of course, the computer, doing all the editing with that. The keyboard that I use, and if I wanted to work outside I can, but it's nice because I can just kick back and put my feet up over here and relax and use this keyboard without leaning up and do all my video editing. USB strip that's also a charging strip, which right now I'm charging something and I don't even have anything plugged into it, so let me turn that off. All our chargers for the most part for all this paraphernalia. Again, I mentioned the keyboard. Then Heidi's shoes, she's got shoes thrown around. I do the same thing. I have shoes in the back. Her work shoes and her play shoes. And you can see fly swatters on the ground. As far as dishes, we keep it under pretty good control. We usually use a lot of paper plates, but we do have some Corral that we have for reheating and actually eating too. I'm thawing out burgers for later. A bottle of the special drink. Dishes that are soaking because Heidi left coffee in there from a long time ago. But you can kind of see the overall messiness that's going on. I mean, it's not as neat. Now, as far as these openings, we took that door off down there, the little door, and we gave it to a guy who's making us a big door that matches. So pretty soon we'll have these doors back, probably next week sometime. Here's the sink cover. I've got it just kind of laying here. Sometimes we put it out of the way when we're using the stove. Inside here is pretty normal. I mean, it's not anything crazy. The bed, yeah, I try to make it normally, but the blankets that we have now, for whatever reason, they're a pain in the butt to make the bed. So we're going to have to get some different ones. Okay, before we get back there, the bathroom. Heidi's makeup stuff and brushes. We got a little air freshener in here. We got all our towels hanging. Usually what we can do is we can use our towels a couple times before we have to actually be, you know, we don't let them get mildewy or smelly or anything. And with the air conditioner running the way it is, taking the humidity out of the air, I kind of like the fact that this is adding moisture back into the air. What we'll do is take that same fan that I showed you and we'll set it right here and blow air into here, and it'll dry everything. I mean, you could see we took showers last night. This is dry, and everything's dry in the shower except for the washcloths that are hanging, and even then they're a little bit dry. But all the, you know, for the most part, all the shower's completely dry, and that's the most important part, keeping everything dry. A little dirty on the sink, in the mirror too. Looks like we're brushing our teeth a little vigorously because I see some toothpaste up there. And then in here, forever, since day one, ever since we camped in this RV for the very first time, our dirty clothes has been thrown right there. I don't know why. I don't know why we picked that location, but that's where all the dirty clothes go. We never throw anything wet down there. We never, even when I was sweating yesterday, my brains out, the shirts that I were wearing, I put them up in front of fans to let them completely dry, or I could have stuck them outside too, let them dry, and then put them in here in this pile. Never do we put wet clothes in there. You know, we've done that in the past, and man, the problems that exist get pretty brutal, because what happens is you get mold and mildew or something going on in the washcloths, and it's hard to get that smell out. So you don't want that. Try to put, you know, dry washcloths, dry towels in your dirty clothes. Again, we didn't make the bed. The table that we utilize, but we don't have it outside. I was watching movies last night on our big Samsung View. It's a tablet. I just hook it up to my phone for a hotspot. It does have the ability to get its own line with a SIM card, but I don't want to add another line. I'll just use my phone. Shoes, my old clothes, and the reason is because I know when we leave, I'll be putting on those old pants. I don't care if I get them dirty or greasy. Pajamas are thrown there, and again, the mess that's on the bed. It's not terrible, but it's not clean either. It's not straightened up. The floor's clean. I make sure I can't stand, even at home, I can't stand when there's any kind of rocks or gravel or grass or dirt of any kind on the floor when we walk with our bare feet. And we do kick our shoes off when we come in, unless it's an emergency or we're just running in for food or running to use the bathroom, something like that. But it's not exactly clean, and it is a little cluttered. But I wanted to show you guys. That's something that nobody ever gets to see. And also, I'm doing this to avoid having to sit down and start editing. Yeah, what's that called? Well, just an update of what's happening so far today, and this is it. I've got a sloppy Joe break that I'm getting ready to make myself some lunch. It's 1:15, and for the last 2 hours I've just been editing video. And actually, believe it or not, it was there was some extra stuff I had to do, but this is just day one that I got finished. So I gotta still edit some more. I mean, this is day 3. And I still have day 2. I've got to edit that. I think it's going to be a little bit shorter though, day 2. Day 1 was longer. You know how that happens, guys. It just happens. So let me get back to work after I take a lunch break. Well, it's about 4:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I finally got day 2 finished as far as editing. And I'm just letting it produce. See here, I had to make some notes for another video. And yeah, it looks like I've got about 15 minutes for it to be done producing, and then at that point that day 2 could be uploaded, and of course day 1 also. But I'm gonna go outside and try to enjoy something today. That's the worst part about doing this stuff, is it was really hot today. It's nice out today. I didn't really get to enjoy it. Boo-hoo, cry for me. I also didn't have to get up really early in the morning and drive 20 miles to get to work, and then be on my feet all day, and then drive 20 miles back to the campground like Heidi has to do. So just one of those things. The thing is, whenever we go on our vacations and stuff like that, I've got to continue to work. I got to continue to do this stuff. I mean, it's the right thing to do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and try to stoke up this fire a little bit. I think Heidi's going to try to pick up those cabinet doors that I just talked about, and we might be able to get to where we can put those cabinet doors back on the RV the way they should be, which I don't know necessarily if we've got all the hardware or not, but we'll try it out. We'll see. So just waiting for Heidi to show up. She stopped and picked up those cabinet doors, and I talked her into stopping at Dairy Queen for my favorite little treat. I'll put that in the freezer for later. I got a little bit of a fire going, very small, just in case somebody thinks that they're Smokey the Bear and they need to come talk to me about how high it is. What's that about? I don't know. And yeah, I'm just enjoying my special beverage because all my work is done for the day, which is really nice. It took me quite a few hours. It's funny. I know you guys don't understand, if you don't have a YouTube channel, how long it takes to edit. For me to put out a video that's 20 minutes long, which is too long. I mean, I talk so much like I am now. But for me to put out a video that's 26 minutes long, I mean, you're talking about 2 hours worth of footage and maybe an hour's worth of editing. I mean, that's at the bare minimum if I haven't done multiple clips. The more scenes that you do and the more different things that you do, like turning off the camera and then waiting a couple hours and then being in a different location, all that editing just takes that much longer to do. It is definitely a job. Don't think that it's really easy, but you know, my stuff is so raw
My editing's not the best. I just want to get it out there, and I try to make it entertaining on some level, but I'm going to sit here and enjoy my time. Heidi's on her way, like I said. I would think that she's probably got another 15-20 minutes before she gets here. She's going to cook us some burgers on the little Weber grill, and we're just going to kick back and relax. And the good news is she's off. She's off tomorrow, so maybe I can get her to partake in the special beverage too. Who knows?
That there. Look. Look at that board. That there is a nice. Yep. It looks like it.